and you confirm another if it is true and make it false, I have no quarrel with you. It was you who started this Rocos many years ago. You made yourself popular at my expense. So now that you are at the receiving end of all of this, you should not be heard complaining because there are serious matters already arrayed against you. Wait until we revisit the Napoles case, Secretary or Senator Dilemma. And I assure you, you will be horrified. Wait until that probe goes along, even in your own committee. Because I will start to mention the names of those you ought to subpoena and to appear there to testify. That the committee that is being headed by you. And of course, there's another parallel hearing being conducted at the lower house. You are in a bind. Please think it over, seriously. Do not open your mouth unnecessarily. Because by the words that you have framed, it's already defensive. That she is afraid, or he is afraid that he would be used as a state witness against you. So, why would you be afraid? There's a psychological it's just like saying, I am afraid that I'll be forced to tell the truth. Although forced, but still the truth. That's a problem. Because if I'm called, I'll be forced. Of course, it's forced. The subpoena is a force. You do not obey it, you're cited in contempt. And the other word is, I'll be forced to tell the truth. What gives?
Okay.
Any question?
Edith Regalado from the Philippine Star.
Good morning po, sir.
Why don't you take a seat and...
What, sir? Hindi, mainit pa siya. Go out a lot. It's my
man,
comfort.
I am comfortable answering you sitting down.
Ayan.
You don't have to stand up.
Kasi tumatayo ako, sir.
Ayan,
Sir,
binilagay na. Be careful, there's a chair behind you.
yeah. Sir, that's my seat also. Sir, question lang po. At the start of your administration, you were saying something about giving informs or whoever the bounty of 5 million, 3 million down to 50,000 from big drug lords. Whatever happened to that bounty offer, sir?
Tapos na.
You've given some people?
Tapos
Or because you're the ones answering, you're the ones announcing, tapos na.
Tapos na. Ibig sabihin, ibigay na. Ano ba naman?
Okay. Sir, next question. In this whole with the Lima, I wonder what end do you foresee in this whole thing? What would be the end?
I was really appalled. I was horrified. I was the favorite weeping boy as the number one violator of human rights because of the so many criminals killed. And that matter was investigated by the UN. I don't know for the nth time again, and a rapporteur came here. So I told him, it is true that there are people killed in police operations. And for that, I assume full responsibility. Because I'm the head. Now, for those who are really killed in the drug war, in the rivalry to take up a prominent place somewhere there and there, do not include it. Especially about people being thrown inside a sack or a guy being wrapped with plastics. Why would we do that? What's the point of wasting our efforts? When a criminal is a criminal, and if he happens really to fight with the law, pag sabihin nila, then why is it that they always lose the gunfight? You know, my police department is not stupid. When the police go out or goes out to hunt, to apprehend those selling shabu every night, invariably, they are already paranoid because a constant use of shabu for 6 months, almost every day, would shrink the brain of a person. And I've told you, and many of you media men were there, almost on time to observe that they really are paranoid, sick with paranoia, and they are always armed. And even if you have a relative or a whatever, a friend who got hooked into drugs, you yourself would tell you that they are always somebody is following me, that my wife is cheating me, always. And these are a standard behavior. And they would go for it. So the police goes there out. They are 2 or 3. And of course, when you make a hostile gesture or you pull a gun, you're always killed because the people approaching you there are ready for a gunfight and we have the backup. I do not allow my police to go there alone. So today, of last count, the other day I lost 2 soldiers who were assisting the police. This time it is a police, day after. We lose about 2 policemen a day in connection with the drug campaign. So I would like to bring in that law expert, somebody, the crawler of the ABS-CBN says that law expert, Duterte is not doing enough. I would invite her to come in and to hold his finger and begin to count the figures. And I would ask him, compare it to the previous administration. Same deaths, but these were the innocent children being killed, raped, victims of holdups and everything. This time, almost with the same number, but it is the criminals who are dying. You can hardly hear now of a student waylaid or a hold-up victim in the bus. And I would warn the criminals, do not do it. You will die. If you put up a good fight, these policemen are practiced to kill people if they have to. Because they are policemen. They are trained to shoot. Now, if you are just an ordinary, paranoid drug addict, it's better you'd be safe. That is the sad story. The Human Rights Commission, I don't know why, but they would insist in counting the dead criminals and never make a comparison of the dead victims, innocent people, law-abiding people being killed in the streets at the same time last year. So come here. You are complaining that there is no process. Okay, you guys, you're law expert of the United Nations. Come here. Come here and face me and make the accusations. And I will show you the statistics and I will hold your finger and teach you how to count. And if you cannot do that, be prepared to answer for my questions. And it will really be a sad story for both of us. You do not publish there with the NGOs about killing. You are publishing the side of the criminal. How about now publishing the side of government protecting people or preventing the killing of people, innocent victims? My job, ladies and gentlemen, and of the United Nations, my job as president is to protect the innocent law-abiding citizen.